Wow, we are a week into 2023. And if you are struggling building some new habits or you know you need to make some changes, I have a simple, doable morning routine for you. It's something that I've been following for over a few years now. And I want to tell you, it does not involve getting up at 5 a.m. or sucking down a green smoothie or doing some serious cardio. So if that sounds good to you, you're going to want to tune in. And as always, be sure to check the show notes for my latest and greatest. So let's get growing and keep blooming. Do you want simple steps to level up your mind, body, and spirit, or encouragement as you navigate the challenges of motherhood? Or maybe you need a dose of hope to achieve that goal? Then you've tuned in to the right podcast. This is Keep Blooming, and I'm your host, Liz Montigny. Each week, I'll encourage you to drop the hustle mentality for hope and act on the dreams God has put on your heart. I'm a licensed Ziegler life coach. I've created a theater ministry, and like you, I'm doing all the things as a Catholic, a wife, and a mom to 3 boys. So let's get growing and keep blooming. Welcome to episode 13 of Keep Blooming. I'm your host, Liz Montigny. In this episode, we are talking about things to keep in mind for a doable morning routine. I know there's so much noise out there about morning routines, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And I'm just here to remind you to keep it simple. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. And I'm going to offer you 5 sort of themes to focus on, and you can build your own. Okay. I think that's part of our struggle and maybe challenge in this area is that we tend to overcomplicate things. And when you overcomplicate things, you're not going to do it. So keep it simple and just get started. And speaking of getting started, you know, I like to root our conversations in truth. So today's Lectio Divina is from Proverbs chapter 16, the first 3 verses. Plans are made in human hearts, but from the Lord comes the tongue's response. All one's ways are pure in one's own eyes, but the measurer of motives is the Lord. Entrust your works to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. Okay, so right off the bat there, verse 3, entrust your works to the Lord and your plans will succeed. Guess what? You're going to want to make that part of your day talking to the Lord about it, okay? So, you know, I remember as a kid, I was an early riser, and P.S. and by the way, not now. I am not the 5 a.m. Morning routine coach. Just want to be blunt. And if that works for you, that is fantastic. But for me personally, it does not. Of course, I always work to find the best choice for my clients. So if 5 a.m. doesn't work for you, guess what? We're going to find another way. So anyway, over time, I found that 5 a.m. does not work for me yet. I'm still able, to homeschool. I have a husband, 3 children. I have a business, right? It's okay. Anyway, I remember as a kid being an early riser and coming down the stairs, walking into the kitchen, and my mom was already up, sitting at the kitchen table, reading the paper or making her to-do list. And she was sipping her salada. And my dad was almost done getting ready for work. So when I was older, I asked her why she got up so early. And she said it was the only time she had for herself. So, don't I get that now that I'm a mom and I have a business, right? She was a school teacher and she had 6 children. So if she didn't make time for a break, she didn't get one. And that's what self-care is about. Filling your cup first. You've probably heard that phrase over and over. Again, it's true. If you don't take time for yourself, you are not going to be able to serve others. And the day is going to run you instead of the other way around. So, it's definitely taken me some trial and error to kind of nail this down. But, my boys are school age now. So, a morning routine is more realistic for me. Um, and I find that when I can kind of nail these 5 buckets before my day gets rolling along, I'm a little less cranky and things are good. So, first up, a doable morning routine starts the night before. Yes, it does. My best mornings are start from the night before. So I actually set an alarm on my phone so that I can stop whatever I'm doing. Sometimes that's just chilling on the couch, right? After everybody's gone to bed. But I actually set an alarm to start getting ready for bed. And, I take care of my skin, I brush my teeth, I take a look at my calendar and I read a little before I go to bed. Um, so I actually have an alarm on my phone for getting ready for bed. Um, the second thing that I do is, or lately I've been attempting to do, is get up before the boys. It's that whole thing of putting your oxygen mask on first, okay? So if I'm able to get up before they do, I really have time to put myself together and just take a moment. And it's not like I wake up and I immediately have to go into whatever request has been put out there, right? And again, like I said, I am not the 5 a.m. person, so I've, gone through a little trial and error what my magic time slot is, but it tends to be like between 6:30 and 7, and then usually a little past 7 people are up around here, so I got to get going. So, ideally for me, that's what works. Again, if you are the early riser, use it. If you're not, you need to figure out how to carve some time in your day to just focus your mind, which is one of the things on my top 5 list. Okay, I had a client who she really had an early shift and she had children, so she would actually go to work a little bit early to do some of her morning routines so she could really focus. And how I focus is not looking at my phone yet. Uh, I try to get my mind together with prayer. So whether you pray, you meditate, you journal, make a to-do list, whatever it needs to be to help you set that tone for your day. For me, it's pretty simple. I make some tea while it's steeping. I do some Lectio Divina to the Daily Gospel. If you like the Hallow app, it's right on there, or, just do it yourself. Um, and then I just take some silence and focus on gratitude and review my day ahead while sipping my tea. And that is it, right? Don't overcomplicate it or you're not going to do it. The fourth thing on my top 5 list for a doable morning routine is moving. Now, I do not work out that early because I'm not built that way. But I do stretch and I do some simple range of motion exercises that I got from my chiropractor, right? And I breathe. So if you're not up to the full workout, at least try the stretch like I do. And it feels good. And it's a simple way to just wake up your body and take care of yourself. The fifth thing I have on my doable morning routine list is hydration. I'm gonna be honest with you, I struggle with my water intake. It's always been a struggle. I find it very boring and I find it like, oh man, we gotta do this again. But what are the benefits? So many: hair, skin, nails, taking care of your body, and just your body needs hydration. That's how you survive. So I drink 16 ounces of water first. Sometimes I'll do like 8 ounces, just regular water, and then like 8 ounces with some apple cider vinegar. But when you sleep, your body uses up water. So give it a boost before you sip the coffee or the tea. I find that actually getting like a good sized tumbler and a straw, sometimes putting fruit in it, sometimes not, helps me a lot just to suck it down and get it in there, right? So, those are my 5. Okay. Start the night before, try to leave a little wiggle room between when, you have to work with your family. And, so, if that's getting up before they do, or just, setting aside some time before you have to launch into your day with your family. And then focus time, whether that's prayer, meditation, journal, to-do list, whatever it is. And then that moving, the stretching, and of course the hydration. So those are the 5 areas that I like to focus on. I think they're really key. It's, mind, body, spirit. If you're looking at the wheel of life that I use in my coaching practice, then that's the mental, spiritual, and physical spokes, right? And I really feel like when you nail those 3 areas, everything else comes along for the ride, right? So, maybe you need to do these in a different order, or maybe your 5 are completely different from mine. But the point is, spend some time getting curious and figuring out what works for you. Be consistent with it instead of, beating yourself up over not getting up early enough, or not doing this or not doing that. Just figure out what it is, keep it simple, and start. And, on the days that I really nail this and I'm intentional with it, I'm a better wife. I'm a better mom. I'm more creative. I'm more productive. And this is a real simple way to help you have some balance and control. I mean, you can't control everything in life. Can't control everything that happens in your day, but you're better off at least preparing yourself and setting yourself up for success so that you can run your day instead of, letting it run you. So I think it's really the difference between a proactive and a reactive lifestyle. So those are my top 5 themes for a doable morning routine. If you're not implementing it, or you need to make some changes, start here for sure. All right, let's take a look at Lectio Divina. Again, this is Proverbs chapter 16, verses 1 through 3. Plans are made in human hearts, but from the Lord comes the tongue's response. All one's ways are pure in one's own eyes, but the measurer of motives is the Lord. Entrust your works to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. Are you handing over your plans to Him? Is He motivating you in your day? Just some things to consider. Well, my friends, next week we have a guest. I'm so excited. I'm going to talk with her about body-spirit connection. And remember, this is a Catholic podcast, so we're not going to get New Agey on you. But I'm super excited, and she's my first guest of the new year. So I hope you tune in Wednesday for that. Let's get growing and keep blooming. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Keep Blooming. Tune in every Wednesday for a dose of hope and encouragement. You can find this podcast on Anchor, Spotify, and Google and Apple Podcasts. To be the first to know about my upcoming retreats and latest offerings, be sure to hop onto my email list. Have a wonderful week, and remember to keep blooming.